Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be making noughts and crosses. Now, I'm not good, but this is all going to be run off logic, and I'm not that good at logic, but we'll see how it goes. I have been getting a lot better at logic, and I've been doing it a lot more in videos recently, so I thought I might as well try. Now, it's not the hardest game to make, and that's why I'm making it, and it shouldn't take too long either. Now, basically everyone knows what noughts and crosses is. You basically have noughts and crosses, and whoever gets, well, noughts or crosses in a, well, 3 in a row wins. That's a bit of a bad explanation, but anyway, let's start. So first I'm going to start with actually how the display looks. So obviously it's pretty simple since you only need to toggle noughts and crosses, and of course, so yeah. So this thing could be 5x5 or 3x3 for each cell. But I decided on 5x5 since it's a good size and you can easily tell which is what's a nought and which is a cross. Now this is just going to run on logic gates, so this is just going to be logic gates. Now there's not much downside to using logic gates except they don't render from far away, which means that you can't really see what's going on in the game if you're too far away. But that doesn't really matter. So I basically just made 5x5 cells and started welding them on top of each other to make them try and look like, well, this. Now this is only going to be temporary since I just want to see how it'll actually look with, well, 5x5 cells. And when I start doing it, I'm just going to work on one, well, cell and copy it over lots of times. And it doesn't look too bad. As you can see, they do stop rendering if you go too far away. But I'm basically just going to connect all the logic gates on the actual cell and basically make it so it looks like a nought. As you can see, we've got a nought, and now we need to work on a cross. Now it's pretty much exactly the same, and it's hardly that hard to do. Now, I'm not the best at logic since I did just wire one logic gate the wrong way, and now it no longer works. But as you can see, now you have a nought, and now I'm going to make a cross. Now this is very simple since all I'm going to need to actually display on these is nought and crosses, and maybe some other stuff if I really want to, but I probably won't get that far. And as you can see, we basically now have a cross. Now, currently they're controlled by switches behind the screen, which isn't exactly what you want, but I'll have to do for now. But now I'm actually going to work on a toggle. Now, I could do loads of logic to get this toggle to work, but it's a lot simpler for me to just use spread guns and switches. Now, yes, it's not completely logic, and it's kind of stupid, but I basically just make the switches can be toggled on and off by the spread guns, and it's pretty simple if I just put an OR gate behind spread guns. I can also make this very simple, well, logic gate code to, well, get rid of anything that's on the screen. And now it basically works. So, of course, now we can toggle noughts and crosses on, but currently the problem is you can turn them off, which you can't do in the proper game, because otherwise you can just place a nought on a cross, and you can also, well, place a nought and a cross on the same grid, which isn't, well, good. So now I'm starting to work on, well, stopping this happening. So the first step is making it so we can't, well, place something on something that's already been placed, and also so that we can't get rid of stuff until the game's over. Now, I don't know really how to explain this, but it's kind of simple. It basically just works with the switch going into the logic gate and detecting if something's already there, and if it isn't, it basically just won't let you if there is, or something already there. Now the problem is you can still place a nought on a cross, and a cross on a nought, which is kind of bad, but anyway. And as you see, you can place it both at once, which looks a bit odd, and of course, we need to make it stop that. Now this is pretty simple. We just gotta detect if there's actually, well, any switches on, and if there are, it'll basically just stop. Well, stop anything else from happening. And now it really works. It's just both the switches into an OR gate, and then one in, then that into an OR gate. And now it should almost work. I might have done some things wrong, and I just need to go over them a few times, but now it should work. I did have to add a bit more logic, of course, but now it works. Of course, you can reset all the logic gates by just placing it down again, which is what I do currently. But this is a good start. So now I'm going to duplicate this thing so I can put it in a row. Now, this is mostly so I can basically make like deeper stuff, like the proper placing buttons, so you can actually place noughts and crosses, not with these two ugly buttons on the screen. And like the AI, because this thing's going to have an AI. It's going to be awful if it will have an AI. Because at the moment, I don't really have any friends to play this with. Now, I'm just going to also make this thing look like okay, and I'm not great at building, but I want to at least make it look, well, respectable to actually play. Now in this we'll also do like, well, the turn system and like stuff like that, which will help you. I also got rid of the buttons for actually placing them, and now there's this glitch where it'll basically noughts and crosses will be on at the same time. Then I added these buttons on either side, one will be for noughts and one will be for crosses. It's pretty simple, but it's still pretty cool. I did make the floor out of brick, which I felt looked really good with, well, the carpet and wood, and I quite like it. I also made this little two buttons in the middle. One will be a reset button and one will be an AI button, which will toggle on the AI. Now, there's quite a lot of things to do now, and it's also going to be a pain for when I have to duplicate this 3 times, but currently it's okay. So currently I'm working on the turn system. Now, I also worked on the reset system, which was pretty simple. And actually in this, I did actually start to color code my logic gates, which actually helped a lot. And now there's a reset button. Now, it was meant to be, I did just swap them a bit, so that was meant to be the AI button. So, yeah, I'm going to have to change a few things, but it works pretty well. It does look a bit bland, so I might change it a bit, but for now it does work. Now, I did want to make it so they flash before they get deleted, because that would make it look a lot better when they get deleted. I probably should have done the same for when you win, but I didn't, so well. Now, as you see, it does that. Now, most of this stuff does use spud guns, because it's so much easier than just using logic. But I'm also bad at logic, so don't take my word for it. And now we've got the turn system, or the start of it. It's pretty simple, and it'll actually help a lot when we make the AI. Now, I did get confused quite a bit, but how the turn system works. The logic gate on your side will light up when it's your turn, and you can only play on your turn, which is going to be pretty useful later, and it's also generally quite a big part of noughts and crosses. So now I'm starting on the AI. Now, the AI is going to be completely random. Well, technically not completely, since it's just going to be going off a random loop, and it'll basically just select the place to go on the loop. Now, I don't know how this AI is going to look or work, or how, well, at all really, but I know how I'm going to do it. Now, this thing was very fast, which might have been a bit of a problem, especially for what I was going for. So, yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. So, this now I'm going to use spoken again, just so they shoot the buttons. It'll make the AI a lot cooler and also a lot more interactive, and make you feel like you're not going against a computer. So here's the AI. Now, it looks pretty cool, and also it will also shoot lots of spuds, since currently the way this is going to work is that it's just going to turn to the, well, the noughts like placement board, and then start just randomly shooting a slug at it. Now, theoretically, since you can't place stuff on your turn, then it should shoot it. If it shoots it slow enough, it will basically only place stuff on its turn, and when its turn ends, it'll basically stop placing stuff, because obviously it's not its turn, so it can't place stuff. Now the problem is, it takes 1 tick for, well, signals to go from logic gate to logic gate, which means it does have to shoot quite slow, otherwise it will place more than, well, 1 nought, which isn't really a part of noughts and crosses, although it would make the AI more fun to play against, probably. So now I'm just working on the AI. I didn't know that right now that about how fast it was, and it probably wouldn't work. As you can see, every time a logic gate turns on, it'll shoot a spark gun, which is going to be slightly too fast. Now it's almost working, kind of, not really. I'll demonstrate it. So if we go and we turn on the AI, yeah, it places 2. And it gets even worse since probably in that short burst it could have placed around 9 or like it could have placed almost up to 9, well 8 since you'd place one down. So this isn't the best. So I started working with timers to obviously slow it down a bit, which would help a lot. And as you can see, it's kind of a lot better. Now the problem is now it doesn't go, which is a slight problem. I mean, technically it's better since it doesn't place as much as it did, but it doesn't place any, which is kind of a part of the game. There's a pretty simple fix though. Now it works. Except when it's a draw, it'll just start randomly shooting the, well, board, which isn't exactly like noughts and bosses. Although this won't be too much of a problem since in noughts and bosses, noughts always goes last, so it won't matter when you actually hit the full board. And now we have a full board. The AI wasn't perfect, but I did tweak it a bit, so it should work. Now I've just got to hook everything up since not everything works right now, which is kind of a bit of a problem. Now this thing did look a bit messy, but it kind of works. The problem is that there's only a turn system for the bottom row, so you can go even if it's not your turn on the top 2 rows, and it also would change it to the other player's turn if you go on the top 2 rows. So it's kind of OP. But after a bit of work, we now have this. I'm pretty sure the turn system works. So as you can see, it doesn't really work. You can't place stuff on your if it's not your turn, but also it would change it to your turn, really. Now we can also technically play this, but it's really bad, like incredibly bad. Since obviously you can't really trust like an AI not to just go everywhere, and also since you can't really, well, you kind of need rules and also like a win thing, so you actually know you've won. Now the turn system does work now, and the AI should work pretty soon. I call it AI, but it's not really intelligent, so yeah. It did place 3 at once, which is kind of a problem, and it also needs to make the timers a bit longer, but it's pretty cool. This kind of works. As you can see, it only places 1, which is a pretty good step, although it can place more sometimes. It's also funny how stupid this thing is. It also did place 2, but it didn't place any in the right location. Now, it's very easy to cheese, and also it's very easy to win. It's almost impossible to lose against this thing, but also technically it isn't since randomness will eventually win. But still, you're very bad if you actually lose this way. So yeah, as you can see, this thing's stupid. It didn't even block me, and it just basically wants me to win now. It had one option, and it won, which was pretty good, even though I let it win around like 5 times. So this thing's very close to being done. I have done quite a bit behind the scenes, and I quite enjoy just playing against this thing, although it's not exactly done yet. There are a few things we need to add, but this is still pretty good. Now, it is funny how stupid this thing is, but it's not exactly stupid, and also I did make it, so I can't say much, but anyway. I will carry on playing currently if you've won, which is a bit of a problemo, so we need to change that. Now I'm adding the actual win the thing. Now, the simplest way to show that you've won is I'm just going to light up Logic Gate on your side of the screen to show that you've won. Now, I basically just got to connect lots of things when you win, and now, as you can see, I don't get 3 in a row, the Logic Gate will light up, which is pretty cool. I also made it so you can't actually like do anything, like the turn system turns off when you win, so no one can do anything until you press the reset button. Now this is mostly so the AI doesn't go haywire and starts like doing random stuff, but anyway. Now, obviously this AI is pretty dumb, and as it should have placed, well, a nought there, but obviously it's still pretty good. Now, I've been in quite a lot of logic, so this wasn't exactly the hardest, but it's quite a lot of fun to make. It's also pretty fun to play, since I've never really played like noughts and crosses that much, and especially not as stupid as this. Now, it's kind of painful to watch this thing, but it's still fun. Now, I've been wanting to like make a big logic creation for a long time, and obviously this isn't like massive, but I still quite enjoyed making it. Now, all the buttons work perfectly, and the AI doesn't work perfectly, but it's good enough. Now, this thing isn't meant to be perfect, but it does play noughts and crosses, which is the one I want, and you can just turn the AI off and play with friends. But of course, I can't be able to do that. Now, this thing is incredibly stupid, but anyway. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. There's many things which I could have done, and I do regret not making two AIs just to see the AI play against each other and watch the most painful game, noughts and crosses, which would have been fun. As you can see, lots of the time it doesn't do the most stupid moves, but that's because it made us like a 1 in 6 chance to in the right place. Now, this thing was pretty cool to make as well. The AI was probably the biggest challenge, but that was actually pretty simple as well. Anyway. Now, it does have draws quite a lot, since it can actually block you sometimes, since realistically, after your second go, it has like a 1 in 6 chance of blocking you. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Bye!